Welcome, everybody, to Scott County High School for tonight's regular season finale, 42nd District Boys Basketball. And it's a finale in multiple ways. We'll get to all of that. It's Scott County and Sayre. It's their second meeting of the season. It's a weather rescheduled game. In the standings, it really means nothing other than bragging rights and confidence going into a week from tonight when the same two teams will play in the quarterfinals over at Henry Clay. Sayre beat Scott County 60-50 the first time they met. Both teams have had their moments of glory in the district. Scott County with a couple of big home wins over Bryant Station, the top seed in the district, and Henry Clay, the third place team. Sayre has a win over Frederick Douglass, the 2 seed, along with some close losses to everybody else. We will see how it shakes up tonight as these two teams get ready for battle. I'm Cal Oakes from the Georgetown News Graphic, along with Derek Varney. And Derek, it's a special night in a lot of ways as we are going to bid farewell, at least on the boys' side. The girls will have a game tomorrow night, of course. But this is the final game for the boys in this generation's version of the Scott County Gym. We'll be opening a new school about a half-mile away and a new gym next season, new athletic complex, and a lot of memories. We're going to be tying a bow on them tonight.
Absolutely, Cal. And where did 25 years go? You know, I still sit here and tell you stories about across the parking lot there at the gym that I grew up in and was near and dear to my heart and my family's heart. But now, 25 years and you look up and we're moving gyms again, which is going to be bigger and better. But the memories in this gym, and then tonight, let's just hope Scott County rides the emotion and, as you said, bragging rights and confidence. I hope more of the confidence that would love to get this win and say, hey, you know what, we can go in next week and beat these guys again.
That's just it, is we never really know which Scott County team we're going to see this year. They have 9 wins on the season. It's a mystery. They're the same team that's beaten Bryant Station and Henry Clay here, but then they really couldn't capitalize on that momentum. They've lost 5 of the past 6. The downslide started with a one-sided loss to Frederick Douglass. They do have a win over Mercer County tucked in there, a Mercer County team that really came on in the second part of the season in their district in the 12th region. So it's a Scott County team that's capable of winning this game. It's capable of winning next Monday night. It's capable of beating, or at the very least throwing a scare into Bryant Station. They've had 2 close games with the defenders this year. We just don't ever seem to know if the light's going to be on.
No, and the thing about it is, Cal, that's what you and I, it's why we love being here, because 42nd District basketball, you just don't know. You see Scott County play Bryant Station. If you put them on paper and put them out there together, and Bryant Station is a small college team compared to Scott County as far as physicality. And you know what, Scott County beats them and then goes through lead changes a couple weeks ago with them, about beats them again. They played a great game against Henry Clay and beat Henry Clay. They were in it for a half with Douglass, and then they let it get away in the second half. But it's just, as you said, you just don't know. Let's just hope that team that played Henry Clay about 3 weeks ago shows up.
If they do, anything's possible. They beat this Sayre team to get to the 11th region tournament last year, beat them in a semifinal at Douglass after losing twice during the regular season. So it shows you that regular season is nice, but it's a 30-game preseason here in the state of Kentucky.
It surely is. I mean, that's why we throw it up every game, and it's coming down to district time, and this is where you want to ramp up. We've seen stranger things happen, Cal, where Scott County could get some breaks in the district, and that's what it's all about when you go into tournament time, is about breaks and about luck.
We're going to take a break here as we're going to have an anthem, and we're also going to have some special presentations, a couple of celebrities down there on the court, and we'll let them take over as we get ready for this one. Welcome back, Cal Oaks. Derek Varney here with you for Scott County Sayre basketball. As we mentioned, there's going to be some pre-game pageantry here. We see the principal, Mrs. Gabehart, down on the court. She's going to have a presentation and an announcement. We also see the great A.W. Hamilton down there. He's going to be involved in this as well. So let's turn it down to courtside.
Tonight is an amazing opportunity. Approximately 36 years ago, at Southern Basketball Baseball Park, during the state All-Star Tournament, a conversation between two guys, one keeping the scorebook and the other announcing, led to what has now been 35 years as a public address announcer for Scott County boys basketball. Bill Holland began as the voice of the Cards during the 89-90 season. During the past 35 years and over 500 home games, Bill has seen and been a part of 2 state championship teams, 5 state runner-up teams, 4 state Final Four teams, 16 regional championships, 2 Mr. Basketballs, numerous all-region and all-state players, the all-time coaching wins leader in the state of Kentucky, and every game in this gym since it opened during the 96-97 season. Although this is the last game for Bill in this gym, we look forward to hearing his signature introduction, "Here Comes the Cards," for many years to come in the new gym. Tonight, we want to recognize the voice of the Cards, Mr. Bill Holland, and his 35 years of service to Scott County boys.
The great Bill Holland being recognized for 35 seasons. His first season as the courtside announcer for Scott County boys basketball preceded this gym by several seasons. They said 1989-90, which was my senior year of high school at Monmouth Academy, the Mighty Mustangs.
You mean ours?
Maine. Yeah, and yours too, as you were playing for the Cards at that
sir.
time. And so generational, to say the least, personality here at Scott County. And what a moment as he gets the plaque of recognition from coaches Tim Glenn and Chris Wilhite.
Good stuff right there. Bill Holland, great man. Loves what he does, the voice of the Cardinals, and he will absolutely, if you catch him outside of here, he'll tell you how much he loves it as well.
And he has a grasp and a memory of all the historical details. James Scoggin, my colleague, sat down for an interview for Georgetown Magazine a couple of years ago. And Bill could have gone on for hours and hours and hours.
Oh, absolutely.
The history of this program and his experiences and the ride that he's been on with it since day one. And now Bill will try to get back to work after that and introduce the starting lineups. For the Cardinals, you have Preston Luckett, Ben Glenn, Harrison Owens, Tristan Christopher, and Zaire Ray. That has been the usual starting 5 for this crew. We'll catch up with Sayre as well.
I think these teams are kind of familiar with each other, Cal.
They know each other just a little bit. In fact, I'll tell you how familiar. One of Sayre's starters is a former Cardinal, Noah Gallagher.
Oh, yeah.
He wears number 5. Brock Kaufman is a multi-talented athlete. He wears number 2. Number 10 is Luke Pennington, of course, son of Chad Pennington. He is a highly touted football quarterback as well, just like his dad was.
He could play a little bit.
Just a little bit. Chase Parker, who had a game-winning shot against Douglas in a double overtime game a couple of weeks ago wears number 1, and Ian Reeser, he's in number 34, and he just torched the Cardinals for 30 points the last time they played. So they've really got a key on Reeser. Last year in the playoffs, shut him down and made all the difference in that one.
Yeah, that's what Scott's going to have to do tonight. They're going to have to try to turn Sayre over. They're going to have to match their intensity. And as I always say with Scott County, because of the size, obviously you got to go to the boards. You got to win the battle of the boards. This emotion tonight, Cal. I mean, can you imagine your name being announced as the last starting lineup to play on this floor?
I mean, how many of these guys were in this gym as toddlers and walked on the court during halftime when they were in grade school and got some shots up and dreamed of the day they were going to be playing in this gym. And now most of them are underclassmen. They'll be making that transition to the new gym next year. That's the good news for the Cardinals.
Yes, it
They're
is.
a very, very young team.
Pretty good coach at midcourt right there, A.W. Hamilton.
He has had his fair share of success. Now 101 wins at Eastern Kentucky University. They are in sole possession of first place. The A-Sun hoping to get to the big dance this year, and we're certainly rooting for that in Michael Marino's senior year.
Something really cool, Cal, just talking about this community, looking out at A.W. Hamilton. He was growing up, he came to Dad's camp every summer, and of course, as you know, was the hardest worker there and just loved the game and came up. And, you know, me being there as a high school player and even before that, A.W. was always something, just his desire and his, just his willingness to do everything it takes to be successful. And now you look out there and here he is and EKU's head man, and as you said, 101 victories.
Of course, the second year that this gym was open was the 97-98 season, in which A.W. Hamilton and Goo McIntyre and that crew went all the way and hoisted the trophy, the first of 2 in a decade span in the KHSAA Sweet 16. Rick Jones had a pretty big shot in that tournament, too.
Oh, my gosh, I still see it. I mean, sitting underneath the basket and watched it. One of those angles where you can look up through the net and see the ball.
And, of course, the late, great Billy Hicks kind of channeling Jim Valvano and running from the bench all the way to the other end of the court.
Trying to find somebody
to hug. It's a beautiful moment in the history of this state and in this school, this program. Tap won by Sayre, and Pennington will walk it up.
As he's the quarterback.
He is not necessarily the point guard of this offense, but he could do a lot of things for Sayre. He's one thing that Coach Chris Wollheit and I have had conversations about, and we'll get to it after Pennington takes that shot and gets blocked, how much football has helped the overall athletic program at Sayre in general. Christopher off the mark, and the rebound comes down to Gallagher. Gallagher has the ball now, guarded by Owens. Of course, he played for the Cards last year, as we mentioned, did Noah Gallagher.
Yes, he did. I was wondering where he went.
He has been a starter for the Spartans this year. There is a foul line jumper for Reeser, and he shows you immediately why he's the guy to watch for Rob Goodman and the Spartans. 2-0.
Beautiful move, beautiful mid-range game there, Cal. We need to step up on him and make him go a little further.
Owens dribbles it up top, finds Christopher, and the Cards will slow it down. First possession was a little quick. They tend to pick their spots early in the game. The first quarter, the first time these teams met, was a slow-paced affair. There's Glenn. Yep. That's usually his forte, but he was wrong on that one.
He did not catch it clean, and Sayre's in a zone.
Bounce pass inside from Kaufman to Parker for the bunny, and it's 4-0. Not a good start for the Cards, as we were just about 90 seconds into this one. Glenn drives, gets it stripped out of his hands by Parker and recovered by Pennington. Pennington then look pass ahead to Parker. Parker spins and kicks. There's a 3 for Gallagher from the corner, and he shows the crowd the 3 fingers, and 7-0 just like that. My goodness.
Good timeout by Coach Glenn. Get these guys settled down. We have to get some continuity on the offensive end, Cal. They're in a zone, and again, as I always talk every game, in high school, make some passes, cut hard, and you're going to get the shot that you want.
Not the way you want to start a historical night, and now the referee clearing the baseline is a bunch of kids sitting down in a place. It's probably not a good place for them.
No, not a good place at all.
There's not a lot of room there. As a photographer / note taker, I've had my share of close calls there. Kids wanting to be a part of this experience as they sense what a big night it is here. So we said the girls will close it down tomorrow night against Berea. So make sure if you didn't get a chance to come out for this one, you got one more chance to be part of history as we say see you later to this gym.
Yep, that's going to be the final one.
It's going to be the middle school gymnasium from now on as Owens leaves it short on a 3, and the long rebound comes down to Kaufman. Sayre setting the pace early. Kaufman drives up and under, no good. Chases after his own rebound, knocks it out of Christopher's hands. It will go to the Cards.
Scott County's getting one look on. They have to go to the offensive boards as well, Cal. They're very flat right now, very, very flat.
Christopher guarded by Kaufman. Kaufman is a college football prospect at the highest level. Owens to Luckett from 16 feet. Luckett's been really, really good from that baseline, just inside the arc, and he can even hit from beyond it, but he gets the Cards on the board here, 7-2.
And Cal, we did not try to dribble through their press that time. We made 2 quick passes, and Luckett had a wide open baseline jumper.
What do we say? Luckett with the bucket.
Luckett with the bucket.
Bounce pass to Gallagher. Short range from the right baseline is good. Gallagher has 5. It's 9-2 Spartans. Almost a backcourt violation there as Christopher looked like he was going to go over and back, and then gets it to Ray, who cans it from about 14 feet, 9-4. So
that's his shot right there.
Yes, it is.
And down on this end right here, you got guys. We're still out of sync on defense of who's guarding who, and that can't happen.
Parker drives at Glenn, tries to kick it back to Gallagher, lost the handle. Owens chasing him. Now Parker again. Gallagher left open for another 3. He misses long, and Ray with the rebound. Zai with it across the timeline. Looking for Christopher. Christopher up top.
Need to get him going, Cal.
There's a steal by Pennington, an interception, if you will. He didn't throw many of those during the football season, but he got one here. But they get called for the over and back as he tried to get it to Kaufman.
And as Coach Glenn is being very demonstrative here, which as he should, move the ball, advance the ball up court. We're dribbling the ball too much. When we did not dribble the ball, Cal, and we advanced it, we got a wide open look by Luckett. Somebody has to shoot to the middle on the they got a 2-1-2 press going.
Ray inbounds it, finds Christopher. Pennington was glued to him, now backs off, and Christopher will hand off to Ray. Harrison Owens, one of the few seniors on this team, along with Carter Dotson, who comes off the bench. There is a block from Reeser that will stay with SC.
I like the aggressiveness right there. He took it, he got it blocked, but you know what? You have to shoot the gaps against the zone. It's not an overwhelming zone, trap that they're doing. You're going to get the shots that you want. Just be patient.
Ray to Glenn on the baseline, closely guarded by Kaufman. Drops it off to Ray for a corner 3, way off the mark, and rebound comes down to Parker. 4:15 to play first quarter. Parker ahead to Pennington. Floater. Scoop shot is no good.
Got to get on the boards.
There's a rebound for Kaufman and a miss. Another rebound for Pennington. They'll get SC for the foul underneath the basket. So Sayre hitting the boards hard. And as you said, that's always a factor. Scott County, this is a team, one of the rare teams that doesn't outsize them really. Reeser is kind of long, and I would guess 6'5", maybe 6'6".
Yeah.
Everyone else just kind of short and broad-shouldered. Gallagher's got some length to him as Scott County misses him in that regard. Pennington off on the first free throw. He'll get another.
All the more reason why we need to cover our boards. Find somebody to block out no matter the size of them.
Pennington hits the second to match the number on his jersey. 10 for Sayre, 4 for Scott County. 4:05 to play first quarter. They break the pressure. Ray trips over his own feet. Now recovers.
He got hurt.
Yeah, he landed awkwardly. He bounced past the Glenn. The official's going to make sure Ray's all right. I think he kind of rolled his ankle when he landed, so a costly basket for SC to cut it to 10-6, but Ray will have to get a look from trainer Dan Volpe.
Phillip Grimes.
Grimes, we don't mind putting him in the game as he started midseason quite a bit for this team.
I hope it's the Grimes, the Henry Clay Grimes.
Again,
because
you don't know what you're going to see necessarily. He's a sophomore. The consistency is not quite there yet, but the ability is.
Yes, it is. Good defensive switching right there by Scott County. Their defense right now is they got Sayre pushed out beyond the three-point line.
Kaufman to Pennington. Pennington guarded in the corner by Glenn. Finds Kaufman again. Kaufman lost the handle directing traffic. Now he gets it back. Parker with it.
He'll be ready to help. Luckett's got it.
Parker lobbed to Reeser. kick to Pennington, who shoots from 15. Long.
That's a good
Rebound,
block
Christopher.
out right there. Christian Cunningham.
TC going to go the distance. No good. And rebound comes down to Kaufman. Kaufman on the run. Into traffic. Lays it up and in. 12-6.
Kaufman probably could carry it in the end zone, couldn't he?
He probably
Good gracious.
could. He's got another. Just going to say it. You're reading my mind after all these years working together. 2:45 to play.
That's the wrong area for Grimes.
Grimes
right there,
in trouble. Pennington and Parker all over him. 2 peas in a pod, as it were. And they're going to get one of them for a push. It will be Parker. First foul on Sayre. And now Sayre will get some substitutions.
As discussed in previous games, teams are going to press and they're going to trap Scott County. You cannot dribble over into the sideline. Stay out of the trapping areas. That sideline is another defender.
We'll see our first of Caden Jones, number 3, John Palumbo, number 14, and Camonte Braxton, number 13 for the Spartans.
See Grimes, same spot.
12-6, 2:27 to play, first quarter. Cards trailing. They were down 7-0 out of the gate. They've held their own since. Christopher, kind of a 3 out of the flow, in and out.
Got to get him going.
Rebound, Kaufman.
Transition D.
Jones blocked by Christopher. Rebound, Reeser. Reeser, tough time getting it back up over Luckett.
Bailed him out.
And it's a bailout foul. We're going to get Preston for that one. And Reeser will go to the line. Clock stops at 2:09 to play. Reeser, true with the first as Monte Washburn checks into the game for Harrison Owens for Scott County. 13-6. Sayre on top in this 42nd district finale of the regular season. Both teams 2-5 in the district. They'll play each other a week from tonight at Henry Clay. Reeser missed the second. Christopher with the rebound.
Come up and high. There you go. That's exactly. Get Tristan going to his left. He's left-handed.
Washburn for the corner 3. He steps onto the floor and immediately makes his presence felt. I wasn't sure about the shot, but he was.
I was ready to go ahead and get you with the get a trip up and down the court before you come in off the bench shooting.
You just never know with some of these guys. If they feel it, you might as well let them unload. 13-9. Reeser, a little hesitation, drive, kick.
Good block out by Luckett right there.
Miss,
Great block
and
out.
Glenn to the rebound. Braxton took the shot long, and there are the hands of Kaufman, but Glenn got it back. Ahead to Washburn. Yes.
Wow.
Laid it up and in, and that was a tough layup to get it to within 2 at 13-11.
Now the transition defense, Cal, right
Reeser,
there. Cannot happen.
Just fall asleep at the switch.
Cannot happen. And then they can jump into their press.
And Reeser gets the easy bucket to make it 15-11. So the answer for Sayre.
There's
dangerous pass, but Luckett flagged it down and now drops it to Christopher with a minute to play in the quarter. Inside, ball tipped and intercepted by Kaufman.
Good pass by Christopher. Ben Glenn was not expecting. You have to always think the ball's coming to you on a penetration.
Sayre will cool its heels a little bit with 42 seconds to play. Hands on hips for Kaufman. They've had a couple of quick trips down the court. Reeser will take the 3.
Big man.
He can do it inside. He can do it outside. He can pass. He's a nice player. 18-11. Luckett right on the arc. Missed it. And rebound comes down to Palumbo.
A little quick there.
Probably a lot quick.
Yep.
Sayre's lead, which started out at 7, is back to 7, and they can take the last shot of the opening quarter. Kaufman, there's that extra gear we're talking about as he blows past Washburn to make it a 9-point edge.
Going to get a good look.
Christopher floats it to the back rim, no good. And at the end of the first quarter, Sayre on top by 9, 20-11. What'd you see in that first period, Derek?
The transition defense for Scott County. I mean, they're down 9 points and had the thing cut to 3 or 4 on good defensive stands. They're on the straight line drive to the bucket, Cal. We've talked about this all year. You cannot win and stay alive if you're letting guys shoot layups.
That period started with a 7-0 run for the Spartans. It ended with a 7-0 run for the Spartans, and they lead by 9 here on.
Coach Varney.
Coach Varney in the house. I think you know him.
A little bit. As long as he don't make me come down there and get on the line and run, I'm okay.
Truly a Georgetown and Scott County legend being honored tonight. And Coach Glenn will meet Coach Varney on top of the Big Bird. As the past and present of Scott County meet at center court.
I tell you, the 40th anniversary of that season, Cal, you and I talked earlier, but, man, it's absolutely something.
83-84 is a special Scott County team. We think of all the recent success this program's had, but that team won a region title and got to the Sweet 16 and made its presence felt.
Yeah, and that was after the inaugural trip, after I think 7 regional championships coming up, as a loser. First time in school history in 1983, and you talking about turn out the lights, last one out of Georgetown. I mean, Rupp Arena, opening round.
It was a different time.
Oh my gosh!
In the world.
In 1983, they played.
You weren't going to be watching on NFHS or following updates on X or Twitter or anything of the sort. You weren't going to get texts from your friend. You were going to be there in the crowd with 20,000 of your best friends.
Oh my gosh! It was unbelievable. It really was, the way the town got behind the team.
Washburn with a bounce pass inside to Ray, and they'll call a foul on the floor. It'll be on Kaufman. That's the first of this quarter, his first as well. 7:23 to play in the half. 20-11. Ian Reeser had 8 points, Noah Gallagher 5 in that first quarter for the Spartans. Leading the Cards with 5 was Washburn. 2 for 2 off the bench and hit a free throw.
Yeah, Washburn's the one we can say that's hot.
He has been the one. Heat has been a fleeting concept for these Cards. Ben Glenn, once he gets hot, and we've seen Luckett do it as well.
And Cal, that's the thing about it. Ben Glenn's such a good shooter. He had one shot attempt in the first quarter.
And some nights he doesn't get another one for a long time after that. They need to find a way, as the Cards turn it over here, need to find a way to make some shots and close this gap a little bit, as it's 20-11. Sayre showing why whoever wins that 4-5 game is going to be a scare for Bryan Station, as Bryan Station had a loss to Scott County and a close win over Sayre, as well as a close win over Scott County in the rematch. There is a shot and a long rebound for Pennington.
Offensive rebound.
Parker tipped it to him, and now Sayre gets to reset. 6.5 minutes to play in the second quarter. Pennington guarded by Grimes, very closely guarded by Grimes, all over him, lobs it into Reeser. Reeser saves it from going out of bounds. Both Ray and Rayshawn Bryan, who was checked into the game, were there. It'll stay with the Spartans.
And that's exactly what you're taught to do, Cal. When the big man catches on the block and you're the guard, you dig down at that.
And
wow.
Gallagher.
Wide open.
He's finding this gym to be a comfort zone, as it always was his home gym until this year, 22-11. Grimes to Christopher. Grimes gets it back. There's a drive and a kick. Ray to Bryant from 15. Long on the jumper. Rebound comes down to Parker. Parker, hard pass inside, caught, and drawing the foul is Kaufman. Yeah, there's a good athletic move by Kaufman to save that possession and then get the free throw.
It really was, Cal. He should never be allowed to have that entry pass. If you're guarding the ball tight, the entry pass should not be able to be made directly underneath the bucket. It's a
Sayre.
wide open man.
Sayre with 2 free throws. They have Scott County doubled up 22-11 right now, and that one hugs the rim and falls in. So add another one. It's a 12-point deficit for the Cardinals with 5:41 to play second quarter. Cal Oaks along with Derek Varney. Good crowd here at Scott County on this farewell to the gym evening for the boys program. Missed the second, did Kaufman, but Pennington got the rebound. Found Gallagher, back to Pennington. Pennington thought about a three, now finds Gallagher. Glenn has to hustle out to defend him. Gallagher has 7 points already.
It's the simple things right now that Scott County's just not doing, Cal, and that's what's killing them. And it's just offensive rebound, and it's guarding your man.
Kaufman pivots, finds Parker for 3. Way short.
Finally, about time.
An air ball from up top, and Scott County gets a break at the 5:16 mark. Now Owens back in along with Colton Helton.
And we'll call that a defensive stop.
Yeah, we'll say.
A little air ball.
Look, sometimes they help you out. Ray can't find anyone. Now he finds Owen cutting across the timeline. Harrison Owens dribbling through traffic, taken away from him. Parker with it. Parker up the middle, bounce pass to Gallagher, too strong. Turns it over, 5:05 to play.
As Coach Glenn is trying to explain to Harrison Owens, advance the ball. You cannot, that press is made for you to put the ball on the floor, and that's what they want you to do because they're going to back tip you and they're going to take it from you.
They break the press here as Gallagher finds Bryant. Bryant bounces it to Ray. Ray gets it to fall from short range, 23-13.
Great ball movement.
That was a nice possession that they sorely needed. Back to 10 is the deficit.
They've gotten 2 stops on the defensive end the last 2 possessions that Sayre's had it.
Reeser for 3, and he is on the money tonight. Give him 11 of the 26. Biggest lead of the night is a baker's dozen for the Spartans.
You know what? I think Hilton should be able to get a couple shots off being against the zone.
Instead of a skip pass, they tried to throw a long bounce pass to Hilton, and there was nothing there. Another turnover for the Cardinals.
He's going deep into the bench tonight in the first half.
He's got some youngins in there.
Sure. Why not?
Colt Fields. So you have a couple of Colts out there, Fields and Helton. You also have Harrison Owens, the lone senior on the court right now, along with Tristan Christopher and Zaire Ray, the mainstays in the backcourt. There's an interception by Fields, and he will start the break with Ray. Ray drives, spin, beautiful move by Zaire Ray.
Beautiful move. Let's see if they can get him going right there, Cal. That's almost like a dunk right there.
4 consecutive points for Ray to make it 26-15, and now they're going to get Owens for a little reach in on Reeser. Owens says, "I don't know what else I could have done, sir."
Oh, yeah. I don't know about that.
Clock stops at 3:54. That's the first foul on Harrison Owens. Owens' job right now is to make life difficult for Reeser. Nobody else has been able to do it. Helton on Pennington. Pennington's a nice player. He's one of those glue guys. You can just tell. Does all the little things.
He's aggressive. Team. He's got the football mentality-wise out there.
You wouldn't see him and think football player. Or even glue guy on the basketball court, but he certainly is. As Reeser gets a second opportunity, and how many times have we said that for Sayre? Offensive rebounds after offensive rebound.
The killer.
The stats say they only had 3 in the first quarter, but they've had more than that here.
Yeah, and that's just as we talk pregame, the things to talk pregame about turnovers, but the main thing with Scott County is controlling the backboard, especially on your defensive end. That's where they're really struggling right now.
Braxton and Palumbo check back in for Sayre. You get them along with Reeser, Pennington, and Gallagher. Gallagher has it at the foul line. Kicks to Palumbo. Palumbo tried to get it inside to Reeser, but Owens, again, all over him. Knocked out of bounds by Harrison.
When their defensive principles are correct, and this is not a Captain Obvious statement, but when their defensive principles are correct and they stay within themselves on a defensive end and don't gamble, they're doing pretty well.
Gallagher, tough pass for him that he recovered and got the hook to fall. And Noah Gallagher is having himself a night in his old home, 28-15.
You don't like seeing that. You like it for Noah.
You don't like seeing a familiar face in a different uniform having that kind of success. Sayre has taken over this series the past couple of years with the exception of that playoff game last year. They swept the regular season, and right now working on one here in the regular season, 28-15.
It's a great
pass
play.
by Grimes to Christopher, but left the layup short. And he's mad at himself, frustrated as can be.
It is very frustrating because that play was beautiful against the zone there, Cal, and we got Christopher on the left side, and he's left-handed, and he just left it short.
Scott County's offense just comes and goes.
It does. I mean, that was a gift for Christopher right there.
We see the first Carter Dotson appearance of the night. Dotson, again, the other senior, along with Mr. Owens. Dotson came over from Great Crossing, became eligible in midseason. Had 8 points on his senior night against GRC, and there's an interception for Dotson as if on cue.
He's long. He's got the basketball body.
We don't say too many of these guys are long, but he is. He and Luckett, basically, for Scott County.
Yeah, Dotson's got a little of the Mosby.
He's wiry like Nick was. There is a miss from outside for SC and a rebound for Kaufman. And Brock Kaufman drive and dish to Parker. But Kaufman makes this team go, along with Reeser, along with Gallagher, along with Pennington. This is as good a Sayre team as I've seen. And they are up 30-15 with 2 minutes to play in the half.
Their athleticism and their positioning on both ends of the court and knowing how to play makes up for their lack of size, as you spoke about earlier. Because, but when you have your big man can go inside and out like Reeser can, good gracious.
This team's had its moments under Coach Goodman. They reached the 11th region semifinals back in 2017. That was my first year here. And I was told Sayre wasn't supposed to do that sort of thing, and they did it that year.
Was that Doobie?
That was the Doobie year. Mr. Doobie Doo was exceptional. And there was a nice pass to Glenn, but he can't get that short ranger to fall tonight. And now he commits the frustration foul. Ben is usually automatic from inside of 12 feet.
Cal, you have to say, he does not look like he's ready when he's open like that. You have to come ball in the air, feet in the air, catch it, and be ready to go up. Ben's he's making his decision once he catches the ball instead of knowing that, hey, I'm here and this is my mid-range game. I got a great mid-range game. I'm going to catch it and I'm going to go up.
1:25 to play in a rough first half, offensively, especially for SC, and defensively at times it's been ragged as well, and almost no defense there on Reeser as he runs the left baseline for an easy deuce, 32-15.
They need to don't fool with it, just keep going. Just keep advancing the ball.
Fields to Dotson. Grimes took several steps and then charged into Mr. Braxton, who drew the player control.
That was a choose your turnover.
It was going to be one or the other.
Choose your turnover.
It's the more costly thing, as it's a foul, and now Tim Glenn wants a 30-second timeout with 57.7 seconds remaining in the half. His team trails by 17. SC's longest run in the first quarter was 5 points. They have only scored 4 points in the second period.
Yep, they had 11 at the end of the first.
It has gone cold and then some.
Nice crowd here tonight, Cal.
It is a nice crowd on the home side. Both sides filled up pretty nicely. 2/3 to 3/4 full, I would say.
Yep.
When it was going well for SC in the middle of the season, Derek, they were getting high percentage shots. In both games against Bryan Station and Henry Clay, that was that was what reigned supreme for them. Tonight, it just has not been. They catch the ball and they shoot, and they just don't seem to be squared up.
No,
they seem to be off balance.
Not ready when they catch it, and then you run up on the guy right there. I don't understand that.
Kaufman just too quick. Did him a favor and left it short, and Dotson got the rebound. Christopher with an impressive move, put it to the floor at the foul line and floated to the basket, 32-17. There's a block by Dotson, but a rebound by Parker, trying to force it into Kaufman. So Sayre's helped a little bit. I mean, honestly, this game could be out of hand, but Sayre has participated a little bit by turning it over, missing some shots from close range, and it's still doable at 15.
Cal, let's see if we can get the big Mo right here before half. I don't
Grimes
care what the score is.
Tied up, but gets it to Dotson in the corner. Carter Dotson for three, no good. Reeser rebound.
And again, he didn't look ready to shoot. He fumbled the ball there at the beginning.
No, he determined before he caught the ball he was going to shoot it, and then he wasn't really. Didn't really have a clean handle on it. There is a kick from Christopher. Clock stops at 10.9 seconds. Sayre will try to play for the final shot. Just in time for me to watch the last 2 laps of the Daytona 500.
A little more exciting.
Yeah, well, right now, I got to tell you, there's a wreck there. We're watching a little bit of a wreck here at times.
Yeah, need to stop here.
And
Wow.
the drive. And
Look who called it.
I disagree
I do
firmly.
too. You see where the call came from the left side of the court, not even the guy underneath the basket. That was, I'm going to blow my whistle no matter what here.
I'm going to get Ben Glenn for his second, is what he says, and it will be Kaufman to the line for 2. That was the 15th foul, so it was going to be 2 either way. Kaufman drills the first. Scott County is going to be in a big hole at halftime against a team they're going to have to patch up and play again in a week. 34-17 as Kaufman makes both. Grimes will have enough time to inbound it, run the baseline, trying to find somebody. It's Christopher. Christopher's going to let fly. Oh, it was online, but it was just a little bit short. And your halftime score, Sayre 34, Scott County 17. And it was about like it sounds.
They'll put the ball in the bucket, Cal. You got to put it in the hole. You can't win if you don't ring the bell. I know defense. People say defense wins championships, but by golly,
they determine the winner by who scores the most points. And Scott County is struggling in that regard. Well, what can you do, Derek, if you're Scott County to turn this around a little bit? You got to do it in little bites.
Yeah, you do. You can't.
As we said before, you got to kind of get it under 10.
You do.
At the end of the third quarter.
Cut it in half by the end of the third quarter and cut off transition. Cut off Sayre's transition and straight line drives to the bucket.
Right now, buckets have been few and far between. Scott County outscored 14-6 in that second quarter, amounting to this 34-17 deficit. Tomorrow night here on the network, the final regular season game on the Bird's Nest Broadcasting Network, as it will be Great Crossing with its impressive number 1 ranking in the state, 21st in the nation, 28-1 on the season, going up against Walton Verona at home. They will play Frankfort in a week in the 41st District semifinals. Don't want to assume anything, but I think it's safe to say they'll be heavily favored in that one.
I'm anxious just to see where this goes.
Walton Verona is going to be a challenge tomorrow night.
Yeah.
They've been ranked in the top 30, 35 or so.
Are they still in the 8th or they get moved to the?
They are in the 8th.
Okay.
That 8th is a crowded region. I'll tell you what. You got North Oldham, Woodford County, Spencer County has been on a tear. Walton Verona is a quality team. Grant County is capable of biting somebody if they get in there, and I think they're in the same district as Walton Verona. I'm probably forgetting somebody in there.
North Oldham.
Yeah, North Oldham was the first one.
Yeah, North Oldham.
I don't think they get nearly enough respect. I don't know if it's because their schedule isn't quite where the Louisville and Lexington teams are, but they played that game where they lost basically at the buzzer to Great Crossing. Had them all night long.
Yeah, exactly. I watched that one that night, and they got a couple dynamite players.
Now, they had a one-sided loss to Mayo, and they've had a couple other speed bumps, but they're a team that's dangerous. Now, the 11th region and the 8th region are paired up. We've talked in the past weeks about when the draw was coming up. They had the draw a week ago.
Yes.
The 11th will play the 8th. The winner of that game will play someone from the mountains. 14 and 15 are paired up. And then looking beyond that, there's
it looks like a second round matchup. If the 11th and 8th, you may get you could be Lyon County there again.
Lyon County would be the semifinal game for whoever survives that game between, as far as I know, the 11 and 8, and then the 14 and 13. And then you've got a potential final with whether it's Newport or Covcath or whoever survives the 7th, be it Trinity, Mayo, you name it. So
I love it.
I love it. It's the best time of year, and there's not going to be any gimmies. You look
No.
from after, as we said, heavily favored in the 41st District Tournament. After Great Crossing gets through that, depending on the draw, there may not be any gimmies down the road. If they were to draw the runner-up from the 42nd District, for instance, in the first round of the Regions, that's going to be a dogfight, whether it's Henry Clay, whether it's Bryan Station, whether it's Douglas, whether it's one of these teams.
Yeah.
You don't know. It's not one you can assume anything.
You don't. You can always try to guess who's going to be in the Final Four there of the region, but there's always one. There's always one that's going to surprise you.
Some of Great Crossing's toughest games in the state. Now, they're undefeated in Kentucky right now, but you look, Henry Clay, Douglas, Madison Central, all lost by single digits to Great Crossing. There's another one in there as well.
Then you mix in a neutral floor.
You mix in a neutral floor. And Madison Southern had them down by double digits before Great Crossing blew the doors off in that game when they went down there. But, yeah, it's going to be a different situation. It's going to be a neutral court. It's going to be very loud at Dunbar in the semifinals and the final. And
are they going to do a
I don't know if they're going to do a split or
they're going to have
they're going to have to because, and again, the girls and boys don't have to play on the same night. So the final you can do, but boys semifinals, I think you're going to have to do a split admission. They haven't told me for sure what they're going to do there, but
we need to get some of these kids that are hitting these shots down here at halftime to see if they can step in and hit a couple for us.
Looks like William Byron has won the Daytona 500.
Uh-oh.
Liberty Bill gets the dub down in the rain-delayed race. Here, this one was snow-delayed for a couple of weeks, and Scott County playing like they're still wearing their snow boots at times tonight, as they've just been slow to they've been a step behind Sayre. Sayre made a lot of things happen on the run in transition, a lot of things happen on the offensive glass, and on the defensive end, they are holding Scott County in check, 34-17.
Yeah, let's just hope Scott County regroups here, and we know it's far from over, Cal, 'cause we've seen this. We saw Henry Clay go in with a 10 or 11-point lead at halftime. Scott County come out and just, again, that's what they did. They took small bites and cut into the lead, and lo and behold, in the third quarter, they're right there in striking distance, and they just went on from there.
Of course, hate to be that guy, but Douglas also had a 10 or 11-point lead.
You are that guy.
And that one turned ugly.
It did turn ugly quickly.
It became a dunk fest. So we shall see which way this one goes. I like to think the Cards have a miracle left in them, as we've seen a couple here this year. But, boy, offensively, they've got to turn it around. 34.8% isn't great, but I've seen worse. They just have only taken 23 shots. They've turned it over 7 times. Sayre at 50%. Here's the stat. Total rebounds, Sayre 20, Scott County 9.
There you go.
9.
There you go. That stat we talked about before the game. On my little list of things that we must do and must control, if you know, those 3 categories, free throws, turnovers, and rebounds, if you're down in 2 of those, you're probably going to find yourself behind.
Well, give me in a 3-minute window. Let's talk a little less about this game and more about the history of this gym that we're here to salute tonight. What are some of your best memories? You've been here a lot longer than I have, obviously.
In this gym?
In this gym, which opened in 96, 97.
Yeah.
So immediately that 97, 98 team
that's
responsible
exactly right.
for
Well, and walking in here for one thing, and knowing you had to get here early, because literally from wall to wall, you know, when Rick Jones, Scott Hunley, you know, the Goo McIntyre and Toby Harris and A-Dub and that group, just so fun to watch, you know. And you had big-time teams that came in here, and just some really great. But then you saw a lot of blowouts. I mean, those guys ran through some teams. And then, of course, the Michael Marino and Bryce Long era came through. Those guys, everybody was, when they were, you know, 7th and 8th graders, they were waiting on that crew to come through. And once they did, that was very exciting. So there's just one victory that stands out is, I'm not for sure, you may have known, the team that was just absolutely huge from out of state. And I think it was the Toyota Classic, and we didn't think we had
that team from Texas.
Oh, my gosh.
There was a Christian school. It was basically an AAU team.
They were,
let's be honest,
monsters. and Scott County had the magic here in in that gym.
That was a Michael and Cooper and Bryce team. That was either 17 or 18.
Yeah.
It might have been 17. It might have been my first Toyota Classic. And yeah, I thought for sure we saw that team in the first 2 rounds. And said how, and even Billy after that game said, I didn't know how we were going to beat them.
Exactly right. And I'll tell you another one. I was actually on air right across from us, and I don't know if it was with Gary Ball or Mike Ritchie or who it was, but it's when Scott County beat Henry Clay on the Seth Crank shot from midcourt to tie it up, and Henry Clay was one of the top teams in the state, and it went into overtime, and Scott County ended up pulling it out, and that was with the older Richardson, Gage's older brother.
Quinn?
Yeah, with Quinn and I think Trent Gilbert. And that was packed house, very, very exciting game, and just another one that Henry Clay was just much better.
I know. I remember at Coach Hicks Memorial or during that week, someone was talking about when they played Madison Central, that team with Estill.
Yes.
And he would leave the door to the locker room ajar so people that were coming in late could sneak in. Some of his closest friends could make sure they had a seat or at least a place to stand in here and watch that one.
Yeah, those were classics as well. There's so many to name. Such good basketball.
Hopefully Scott County can etch one more story here in the next 16 minutes. It has been a brutal half to start, but you got to play all 32. Sayre's up by 17 right now. First half stats, Reeser with 13 points, Gallagher with 10. Those two guys combined to shoot 9 for 11, and that's going to win you a lot of ball games.
And you know what? Maybe this is how this one's supposed to be written, Cal. How we're going to talk here. You and I are going to be 10 years from now. We're going to say, you remember that night when the last game that we were down 17?
We can only hope.
Yes, that'd be nice.
That would be a wonderful way to send it off. Brock Kaufman, 6 points, 5 rebounds. Chase Parker, 4 points and 4 boards in the first half. And a point for Luke Pennington to round out the 34. A little easier to give the scoring for Scott County. Zaire Ray with 6. Monte Washburn, 5, 2 apiece for Tristan Christopher, Ben Glenn, and Preston Luckett. Sayre will start with the ball. Pennington inbounds to Kaufman, and we are underway.
So I can't get a little 2-3 zone going here and got a
Pennington
steal out
tried
of
to
it.
bounce it, and Ray deflected it to Christopher. Christopher on the run, lays it up, floats it. He's going to get called for an offensive
This guy,
foul.
this same official,
I tell you
absolutely
what.
kills us.
He and Tim Glenn can't believe it either.
I mean, absolutely kills us.
I mean, what? Yeah.
I know.
There's no way the Sayre kid got back and got position. But here we go.
I love the zone, Cal. I love it. I mean, make them shoot. Worst they can do is now that.
Yeah, Reeser in and out. Reeser can be deadly from that short range, but he missed that one. Now Ray, little jump stop, try to get it going off the back rim. He can't. Reeser brings it down.
I do like that we've gotten 2 layups out of the deal.
Gallagher steps inside the arc, left it short. Kaufman goes after the rebound. They're going to get Scott County coming in from the side as it's Ben Glenn with his 3rd foul, second of the quarter, I should say, for SC, which trails by 17. Same score we had at the halftime, 51 seconds into this 3rd period. Reeser to Kaufman. Kaufman bounces it to Parker. Parker kicks it to Gallagher for 3. Missed it. And long rebound to Glenn, knocked out of his hands by Pennington. And Connor Wilhite trying to protect his.
That tells you what type of kid.
Hopefully that wasn't an open water bottle,
right?
As it landed on the laptop. And yeah, Ben Glenn helping with the rearranging.
That says it all for Ben Glenn right there. Just what type of kid he is to stop in the middle of the game and help clean up the scores table.
That is the type of kid he is.
Yes, he is.
Before the game, he'll sit down. You'll see him about 2 minutes before the introductions. He'll be the only one on the bench sitting down praying.
Yep, absolutely.
It's just Ben in a nutshell. And there is a reach in for Pennington. And Christopher will draw the foul. It's the first of the half on Sayre. That's a 6:49 mark.
You can tell Pennington is just from his lower half and his upper body there. You can just tell he's a weight room guy. He's a football guy, complete football guy. He's out here playing basketball. And they're in a 3-2. Sayre's jumped out into a 3-2. Well, now they're in 2-3.
Christopher. Scott County can't waste a lot of time here as Ray bounces it into Glenn. Glenn almost got tied up, now finds Ray. Ray kicks it out to TC for a three, and hopefully that gets the Cards going, and hopefully it gets Tristan Christopher going.
And you know what, Cal, we've got 3 great looks in this half. One of them was a charge that was a bucket.
Indeed. Gallagher, another corner three.
You're talking about being ready to shoot the ball when you catch it. He does a fantastic job.
I don't know that I saw Noah do that when he was wearing red and white in this gym, but he's doing it tonight wearing the gold and blue, 37-20.
I think Noah kind of felt the pressure of the Scott County jersey when he had it on.
Yep. Coming in here, nothing to lose, nothing to prove, really. I guess a lot to prove as Christopher missed that one and a rebound to Kaufman. So Sayre back to the 17-point lead with the ball. 5:38 to play third quarter.
Being down 17, you can only zone so long. You have to make things happen.
Parker, nice lob to Reeser. Missed it way too strong on the layup. Reeser doesn't help you like that very often.
He was too close for Reeser.
He needs to be 4 to 6 feet away instead of right underneath the basket, I guess. Ray catch and shoot threes off the mark. Rebound Kaufman.
You see him float a little bit on that, Cal, when he caught it.
Mm-hmm. Reeser for three, going to redeem himself.
Told you.
I give up, 40-20. Hopefully the Cards don't give up. 5 minutes to go in the third quarter.
See, there's just no movement. Everything takes so long.
You hear Sayre Ray going, move, and that's about what I want to yell.
Yeah.
Luckett from the corner, yes.
Nice. He's developed that. I mean, he shoots it and heads on back down court, Cal. That's how confident he's gotten in that mid-range jumper.
Our friend was adamant that it was a 2. He was on the arc. I think he was right with that call.
Yep.
The tip effort by Parker, and now Reeser with another offensive board.
With that end right there, you saw how he stepped. The man called it in the middle, and he overcommitted himself instead of closing out with his hands. Luckett let the guy go by him, and that's what happens. You give up a layup, and then there's an offensive rebound that comes with it.
Ian Reeser. Once upon a time, those sneakers would have stood out, but everybody's got like the same neon glowing motif now.
Yep.
Just different shades, different colors. Once upon a time, that was frowned upon. We used to insist on uniformity. No longer. 41-22 as Reeser makes 1 out of 2. Glenn in trouble. Now finds Luckett on the right elbow.
Nice move.
Luckett with the drive and the foul on the floor. They're going to get Parker.
Oh, Luckett had him on the head fake.
Could have drained it from 15 feet. Drove it to the basket instead. Cards will still have a shot on the OB under. Ray finds Washburn, who's been good and accurate tonight, but not there.
He got away with a walk.
Either way, it's going back the other way, and Parker will take it to the rack and draw the foul. And if that's Glenn, that's his 4th, and it is.
That's just the difference, Cal. We miss down on our end. They make one pass, and they're shooting the layup on the other end. Didn't hit the layup, but they're something positive for them happened. They get to the foul line.
Parker Sanders, number 32, I believe an 8th grader, was checked into the game for the first time. He's so fresh in this game, he's not even on the stat sheet.
Let him play. Why not?
There's a lot of these younger guys that I like seeing them get their chance. Yep. Sanders will shoot from anywhere on the court.
Yep. I like his mentality.
Ray will kick it to Sanders. And they'll reset with Christopher. Haven't seen Red Owens tonight. He's another guy that's
in street clothes.
Yeah, he's injured, one would assume. And there's a steal by Sayre again. Braxton. Reeser, kind of a no-look pass, and the 15-footer is no good, but there's an offensive rebound for Palumbo. Throws it away. Can't save it. Braxton tried.
Good hustle.
Indeed. His teammates tell him that as they pick him up. 42-22, 3:35 to play, third quarter. Ray to inbound. Now Christopher instead.
Has Sayre and Crossing played this year? Or they scheduled each
No,
other?
they did not play each other, at least not this year. Sayre lost by 2 to Newport in the All-A, so that tells you how good Sayre can be on their best nights. As Newport, one of the best teams in the state, and then top 100 in the nation. A couple more misses from Scott County. Sanders from long range, Ray from short range. Pursuit of the loose ball went off of SC.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say Mr. Sanders will probably be one heck of a Scott County player by the time he leaves.
There's a lot of young guys that have gotten a lot of attention at the travel level coming into this program. And Sanders at the middle school level has opened some eyes for sure. Catch and shoot 3 from Kamonte Braxton. And Sayre has opened up on Scott County, 45-22. There's a 3 from Fields that's no good. And just losing it there, Caden Jones. There's an unforced error. Haven't been many for the Spartans tonight. Carter Dotson back in the game, so heavy rotation tonight for Scott County. Is Coach Glenn just trying to find a combination that'll work for him.
Yep.
You don't necessarily want to play your best game right now and show your full hand anyway, as you know you're going to see Sayre again, but you also don't want to be so downtrodden after this one that you go into that game with that kind of feeling. Sayre throws it away again after a bucket by Ray, so Scott County not fading away into the good night.
Cal, I like your glass half full analogy there. I love it.
See if they can dig out here. Sayre's cooperating a little bit, giving them some extra opportunities. Ray leaves the 3 short, and now Kaufman on the run. Lobs it ahead, and Reeser will dunk it. Ian Reeser's got some hops, and now Kaufman on the intercept. He does that in football too. Dribbles behind his back, and now we'll slow it down.
Oh, he's an athlete. My goodness.
He is special. And they're going to get Scott County for the foul as Washburn will grab on for dear life.
I would like to see Kaufman and Chenault and Mello all go at it.
Could you imagine an all-star team with this 11th region? Amari Owens from Bryan Station, Chenault.
Vince Dawson. Or if you just talk about high flyers.
I'm just talking about the 42nd district.
Okay.
Then if you get to the 41st, Dawson, Marino, basically the whole starting 5 for Great Crossing. Jay Rose, who just committed to a D2 school in Pennsylvania yesterday from Madison Southern. He's a talent. There is a missed free throw and a rebound by Dotson. But, yeah, we have some high flyers. Chenault and Boone, probably 1 and 2 as far as their height to their hops.
Godfrey's hops is right there with him as well.
Godfrey's a little taller to begin with, but his hops are in the same conversation.
But I think just all in all, Chenault gets the high riser just because of him being 5'11", 6 foot.
Yeah.
But plays above the square.
Tristan Christopher makes a free throw. He'll have another. 2:03 to play, third quarter. Sayre 47, Scott County 25. Reeser sits down. That's a break for Scott County. Anytime he's not in, there's an opportunity.
Yeah, they're more than welcome to leave him over there.
47-26 after the 2 makes from Christopher, but Gallagher right at the other end. Again, they just don't get back and defend.
There was 2 passes and a layup after a made free throw on this end, Cal.
I've got nothing. Under 2 minutes to play, mercifully, here in the third quarter.
It's not that they're not hustling and playing hard. It's just the knowledge of knowing that I got to get back.
My glass was half full a couple of minutes ago. Yep. It's down to just the backwash at the bottom of the glass now. There's a foul. They're going to get Jones. His first and the team's 4th. So Scott County would be shooting on any additional fouls in this quarter with 90 seconds to play. Cards have already hit the 5, so Sayre in the bonus. Owens. Harrison Owens. Monte Washburn with it. Christopher looking for Ray. Ray cutting to the middle. Now Dotson finds Ray
Great
inside
offense.
the foul line. That was a nice possession.
Very nice. They got the ball to the middle of the zone. That's where they need to get it.
Zai cut once, cut again, turned around and made the shot. Sayre breaks through the token pressure and missed the layup. There's a couple of tip opportunities for Parker. Tips it to himself again. Missed, but gets fouled.
We had 3 battling 1, and their 1 got it.
Number 1 was looking out for number 1 and got himself 2 at the line. Chase Parker called game against Douglas in one of Sayre's marquee victories of the season. Sayre coming in with a good record overall. Better than 2/3 of their games have they won. Just in the district, it's tough sledding. Washburn comes away with a loose ball rebound. Going after it is Braxton, knocking it out of bounds. It will stay with the Cards, 50-28. 37.8 seconds to play, third quarter. Ray inbounded underneath the bucket. Glenn back in with 4 fouls, along with Owens, Washburn, and Christopher. Washburn will have the catch and shoot 3. Missed it long. Off the rim. Rebound comes down to Palumbo. Deep 3 for Gallagher. No. Rebound Christopher. Head to Ray. Ray finds Owens. Owens has to go back and get it along the sideline. And Sayre with a bailout foul. And that will be the bonus. So Owens will tiptoe the line for 2 with 20.4 seconds remaining in the period.
Owens got a little bell out there. He had absolutely nowhere to go and puts it on the floor, and they foul him.
Michael Marino in the house. Owens makes the first.
Yes, he is.
Michael in his own company at EKU with 1,500 points, and I believe it's 900 rebounds. The only EKU player ever to do that. He'll end up with 1,000, and he was a 2,000, 1,000 club member, lonely club member here at Scott County. Great player and a great human being. Sayre running down the final seconds of this period, missed the shot. Christopher the rebound, and with 8 minutes to go, Cards are in a deep hole, 50-29.
Yep. Stay positive here, Cal. That's all you can do. That's all Coach Glenn can do, which he will. He always is positive.
He's got it,
and
as we said, a week to go over both game films and figure out a way to change this up against Sayre.
And my personal opinion and what I would do for a while is what he came out in the second half did. I would have to, if you got to do something to prevent straight line drives to the bucket. And I've seen Scott County play some really good defense where teams couldn't get by them, where they play that pinch defense. And then I've seen things like tonight where there's one pass and a layup.
Connor Wilhite bringing up the stats one more time for us. We appreciate all his help. The dapper Connor Wilhite.
Coach Connor.
I don't even want to talk about the rebounds. I just can't. I can't even, as they say. I'll tell you, Sayre has 1 fewer offensive rebound than Scott County has total. It's 38-16. That's the story. 38-16 are the totals. 15 of those on the offensive glass. Reeser 19 points, Gallagher 15. They've outscored Scott County between the two of them. And we are underway in the fourth quarter. Christopher draws the contact from Pennington. They're calling every little ticky-tack thing right now.
Yeah.
Gearing up for the playoffs.
I play all my youngsters.
At this point, yes.
Yeah.
Right now, it's a fairly standard 5 out there for Scott County.
And
the only difference between the starting lineup is Washburn is in there right now instead of Luckett.
they kind of go a 3-2 is what they guard. It's like a 3-2 matchup. Sayre guards the guy in their area.
Right up Owens. Owens long on the 3. Rebound comes down to Parker. Gallagher and Pennington will take their sweet time. Pennington will check his sneakers, tiptoe it across the timeline. Sayre in no hurry, down underneath the 7-minute mark.
Right. I don't believe I would be either.
They've been in an almost exclusively close games, win or lose in the district, so this is a rare breeze for them. Offensive rebound. What else is new? And an and one opportunity for Brock Kaufman.
See a youngster coming in.
Miles Howard comes into the game. Tristan Christopher will walk slowly to the bench.
Walk slowly to the bench.
And Kaufman completes the 3-point play, 53-29. Up and under, no good by Washburn. Rebound, Reeser. Ahead to Kaufman for 3. And then everybody's going to be 0-0 after tonight, and it's a darn good thing for Scott County.
Yep.
This is one you're going to want to forget. Ray gets it knocked out of his hands. 6:19 to play.
I'm not bringing it up.
I don't know if we can get there. At this point, it wouldn't save us much.
No.
Scott County almost threw it away there. There's a bounce pass to Glenn, and that's where Glenn is at his finest right there. He gets one to fall from the foul line.
That would be clockwork to me. I mean, it would be.
You got to do it 20 times a game.
Absolutely.
Especially against this zone, right?
Right. Because then when they start coming up on you, you can either go around them or dump it down. Just so many good things can happen when you get the ball in the middle of the zone.
Parker bowls over Owens, missed the layup, and somehow it's going to stay with Sayre as Glenn couldn't save it. Owens will sit down. Christopher back in after getting a drink. 5:48 to go. Pennington. Lob. Kaufman couldn't get it. Christopher has it on the run. TC to the rim. Lays it up and in. Deficit is 23 with 5:40 to go. Kaufman gives it up to Gallagher, and Gallagher will slow it down.
Scott County does have to turn up the pressure if they want to try to make this thing respectable.
Lob to Reeser, and that's not going to help.
No.
Touchdown pass from Pennington to Reeser.
And you got no backside help. I mean, that's just a high-low with nobody to help.
Christopher hits a 3. Timeout on the court. Tim Glenn wants a 30 with 5:06 to play. It's 58-36.
Not looking good for the home team, Cal.
No. You can root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. Wrong sport. They will go to Henry Clay next Monday night for the 42nd District quarterfinals. These same two teams will duke it out. Sayre will be the 4 seed. Scott County the 5 seed. That doesn't mean much other than who gets to wear the white uniforms in the dark. Winner of that one will take on Bryan Station. Both teams have proven they can compete with Bryan Station. Scott County has actually beaten Bryan Station. I'd be hard-pressed to compare that game to this one.
Yes.
And think I was watching the same team, but I saw it with my own eyes, so I know that it happened.
That's happened our last 2 games. Douglas
Yeah.
got away, and then this one. Never had a lead in this one.
7-0 out of the gate. Gallagher is going to get himself an uncontested layup courtesy of Kaufman out of the timeout. Howard drops it off to Christopher. Guarded by Parker. Now Ray. Zai finds Christopher, will shoot another three. He's feeling it right now, 60-39, 4.5 minutes to go. Love to see him get that hot in a close game. Hasn't happened in a little while. He had 25 in the win over Mercer County, so that was a good night for TC. I believe not a career high, but his highest in a while. He's a leading scorer, averages about 14 a game. Missed there, rebound Ray.
I think it's safe to say that any game that he has scored 20 or more, we probably won.
Generally speaking, yeah. He had a couple of those early in the season. That's going to be another uncontested layup. That one's for Parker as Glenn fell down trying to draw the charge. We're not going to get one now, 62-39. For a while there, the whistle was sounding every 10 seconds. Not so much now.
Yeah, I think they realized.
Glenn from three. No, rebound though to Howard. Christopher draws the contact from Pennington as Pennington smartly fouled Christopher, who'd hit a couple of threes in a row.
He said, not this time.
That's probably going to be it for Pennington,
Parker,
Reeser, and Gallagher as they get a hand from the hardy souls that made the short trip from Lexington or wherever. In some cases, Georgetown.
Georgetown, right.
To watch the Spartans and cheer them on.
Gallagher said, I'll just meet you guys at the gym.
Christopher missed that three. Rebound Sayre. Jones with it. And a steal by Ray, and they lock arms, and Ray and Jones jarring a little bit.
But Jones was playing with the ball, and Ray just flat took it from him.
Which is what you got to do. I mean, you got to be aggressive when you're down if you want to prolong this game somehow. I mean,
and that's
I've seen crazier things.
I'm
certainly not predicting a comeback at this point, but you got to like the heart from Sayre Ray. He'll get it to Glenn, and Glenn will hit from where he is deadly from 10 feet along the baseline, 62-41. Jones to Kaufman, the only starter still on the court for Sayre. There is a drive from Jones. Can't get the up and under to go, and it will go with the Cards. Loose ball rebound, dead ball rebound, 2:50 to go. Kaufman will sit down as Will Johnson comes into the game, and now exclusively subs for the Spartans.
I'm going to say this is like about a fifth grader that they brought in. Good gracious.
He is not tall. Christopher from the corner. He's hit 3 threes in this fourth quarter to get it down to 18. Don't look now, 62-44. Sayre has kind of declared victory, kind of lit the cigar by putting in its subs. And right now, Scott County's still playing.
And I do always admire that about Coach Glenn's teams. Even, I was going to say it earlier, Sayre Ray, he's got a great motor, and he's going to play hard. I think he does everything everything Coach Glenn asks of him.
Yeah, every time I've talked to Coach Glenn about Sayre Ray, he just raves about the respect that he's shown for him and for the program, and playing hard all the time. And
wish he would have had a couple more years in the program.
Yeah, as a junior this year coming in, and he's definitely made an impact. But we'll see what this young group can do going forward. As we said, they only graduate Carter Dotson along with
that's right,
Harrison Owens. So a spot starter and a guy who's only been available for a few games off the bench. Everybody else eligible to come back. The issue is going to be some of these younger guys. How much more playing time can they earn? I think you got to start playing some of those 8th graders and freshmen from this year's group. There's just too much talent. Freshman team went 17-1 under Coach Toby Harris, and the JV's just about the same. Drew McIntyre and that group had themselves a nice year. A lot of these guys were swinging. Grimes in particular started for both teams at one point during the middle of the season. Red Owens as well.
Yeah, I think he'll contribute.
He's going to be an
big time.
impact player. Got to wait till football season ends to get him along with Timmy Amongo. There was a 3 from John Palumbo. And that will get it back over the 20-point threshold, 21 at 65-44. Christopher's just going to rock and fire. Man, I wish he'd caught fire earlier in the game like this. He's hit 4 in the final stretch of this one. Came into the fourth quarter with only 7 points. He's got at least 19. He was 2 for 9 shooting on the night.
I like how the referee's doing Saturday morning basketball, standing in one spot making calls and not moving.
It is church ball.
Probably see if Christopher had some more.
Yeah, I say he was 2 for 9 shooting coming into this quarter and had himself a pretty good night on the stat sheet in the final analysis. And Sayre throws it away. It's all subs both ways now, as you see Dotson, Grimes, Sanders, Horn, and Rutledge. Reed Rutledge, Ryder Horn, seeing their first action of the night.
Now these guys look the part of 8th graders.
It is a young-looking group.
Yep, they can play.
They will get to christen a new gym and start some new memories next year. Of course, at the middle school level, you had 2 of the 3 county middle schools in the conference final this year, Royal Spring and Scott County Middle. That bodes well for both programs at the high school level going forward. There's a missed 3 and a rebound to Jones. Minute 10 to play. Palumbo spins, kicks to Braxton. Now Bennett Grau in the game. A lot of new faces. Johnson. I think he might be a younger brother to those other 2 Johnsons that played both basketball and baseball so well for Sayre. And there was a deep 3 from Palumbo, who's hit a couple.
Palumbo said he looked at the scores table and saw that he was coming out, and he said, I'm going to let this one go.
Get my money's worth.
Yes.
68-47.
I hate it that Sayre continues to build victories against Scott County.
This would be 4 straight in the regular season after having never done it. Sanders doing what we're told he can do from just about anywhere on the court and hitting the 3. 68-50. Scott County kept playing hard till the end. They were just going to run out of time and didn't get enough stops tonight. Sayre get to the rim with impunity quite a bit. There's a steal by Colton Helton. He's going to take it to the rim for 2. They put up 2 points for Sayre. It's actually 68-52. It's the closest it's been in a while, and that's where it's going to end, as Johnson will dribble it across the timeline. And they will hear the final buzzer in this one, the final buzzer of boys basketball at this gymnasium. And Sayre, not what the locals wanted to see, coming away with the 68-52 victory.
Yeah, let's just hope that, it's one of those where you're thinking, okay, they won this one, we're going to get the next one.
Again, they say it's tough to beat a good team 3 times one season. Now Scott County's got to go out and prove they're a good team. They've done it against the likes of Bryan Station and Henry Clay. But can they do it against Sayre? Sayre's been kind of a nemesis, but again, they have the confidence of knowing that they did it last year in the playoffs. But that was a different group. That was a very senior-led group for Scott County. That leadership's going to come from some younger kids now.
Right. Cal, it's hard to believe that we're signing off from here. We'll be at I hope we got a nice little perch.
I think it'll probably be similar to what we have at Great Crossing on the 3rd level, which means it won't be as close to the court, but it's got some pluses and minuses.
And you know what? They may think of hey, let's put them let's build something where they can see really good, make it convenient.
Build an actual nest.
Yes, there you go.
For the Bird's Nest Broadcasting Network.
That's right.
There's Nick Mosby. We talked about him.
I saw the smooth shooting Mosby will come in.
His sister Allison has been on a tear for the girls lately. Hey, speaking of that, they'll play tomorrow night against Berea here in the final girls game in this building. So do come out for that if you can. On the network, we'll have Great Crossing versus Walton Verona boys, and then we'll have an 11th region boys quarterfinal game in a couple of weeks. So pay attention to social media for all the information on that. As our friends from Frankfurt will be broadcasting the 41st District Tournament over at Great Crossing in a week.
Final stats, partner.
Yeah, let's final stats. Tristan Christopher had himself a nice quarter to get to 21. 5 3-pointers in all tonight. 10 points from Sayre Ray. 7 assists, 4 rebounds. 6 points for Ben Glenn, 5 for Monte Washburn, 4 for Preston Luckett, 3 for Parker Sanders, 2 for Colton Helton, 1 for Harrison Owens, and a partridge in a pear tree. 21 for Ian Reeser, 17 for Noah Gallagher, 12 points, 11 rebounds for Brock Kaufman, 8 points, 10 rebounds for Chase Parker. Tell me if you're seeing a pattern here with double-digit rebounds. 3 points for Kamani Braxton, 1 for Luke Pennington. But Pennington does a lot of the dirty work for this team. He impresses me. He doesn't need to score to make an impact for Sayre.
No, just very physical. And when he can guard, he can rebound. I think he knows he's not the best shooter, but he's going to, do what he has to do to contribute and contribute well.
Make his team better. That'll do it from Scott County High School. On behalf of Peter Wilson and Derek Varney and Mike Scoggin and DT Wells, I'm merely Cal Oak saying good night, God bless. Your final score one final time, Sayre 68, Scott County 52. Wishing the Cardinals best of luck as they take on these same Spartans in the 42nd District Tournament next week. Good night, everybody.